So even though I don't consider myself a journalist,
Right.
I see myself in a position of authority because people do read my words and kind of like use it as like semi-news, like Jon Stewart. You know, like if Jon Stewart was to have a blog, I'm hoping he would read mine.
If Brian Williams had to step down because once the story turned out not to be what he had been saying, his news organization had to deal with the fact that, well, now you're supposed to be a trusted source, and if you're not trusted with that, then how can you be trusted with anything else? They say the same thing with every little error.
Now, where exactly that went wrong and whether he was conscious or aware of the error, I'm not absolutely sure, but at some point he knew he was not telling the truth, and it was disappointing that he would have to have some other print publication or online publication challenge him and force him to come forward and say, I was mistaken. I was not in that helicopter. Because he clearly was stating incorrect facts. So that is very, very unfortunate, especially for a journalist of his stature who was followed by so many and respected by so many in the business.
It was shot. Why do you have to make up a story? What do you gain from that? You're not a war hero. You're not a war veteran. You're a journalist. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to do that. Just report in the most colorful way possible about what you experienced in watching the plane or seeing the aftermath.
He abused that power. Like when you are being watched by people and people are absorbing your words, I feel like you should add an extra layer of integrity to yourself and make sure that whatever you do is accurate, or at least like tries to be accurate.
But there are scales. I mean, there are little mistakes, and there are whoppers. Seems like his story was a whopper, so that's what happened to him. You know. There are other journalists who've done far worse things. They weren't even there. They made up stuff. They've been punished in the court of public opinion, and I doubt that they can get a job.
A lesson and a warning to all journalists. Stick with the truth. You don't have to exaggerate, to have a good story. And plus, I feel like we as journalists need to step out of the picture anyway. You don't have to be a part of the story. Step back and just do what you were trained to do. Report on that story.
It makes people question everything you've done. Like everything you've done. So all your work gets like laid on the line because you made this one giant mistake. But in the past, and it should be scrutinized in the past because it's like, how many other mistakes did you make? It's not worth it. It is not worth it to have your whole body of work scrutinized because you decide to make this terrible judgment. So you might as well just like be straight about it. Like don't put yourself in a position where people have to question your entire body of work.
I feel like we're just too creative to have to stoop that low.